tonight's the night. And it's going to happen again and again. It has to happen. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Season 1 of Dexter, another TV show from 2006. So the reason why I decided to begin a retrospective on Dexter is because the show ran for 8 seasons and ended back in 2013, but now a mini-series titled Dexter New Blood is scheduled to premiere in November and will serve as a continuation of the original show. And I do have some memories of it back in high school, though not many, to be honest. You know, I saw an episode of Season 3 and that was it, and then maybe bits and pieces of Seasons 6, 7, and 8. I had seen the final episode, and when it was all said and done, I sat there thinking, okay, when's the next season? Oh, is that it? Oh, okay, that's kind of disappointing. So what is the show actually about? Well, basically, Dexter centers on a forensic technician who specializes in bloodstain splatter analysis. This individual goes by the name of Dexter Morgan, and he's played by Michael C. Hall. And Dexter actually leads a double life of sorts. He works for the Miami Metro Police Department by day, and by night, he is practically a serial killer who hunts down criminals who have escaped the cracks of the justice system, as well as other serial killers in general. This is honestly a brilliant concept, and it reminds me of shows like Smallville and Breaking Bad, in the sense that Walter White and Clark Kent had secrets that they had to keep from everyone they cared about. The show was produced by the Showtime Network, which is responsible for other shows like Ray Donovan, Shameless, Weeds, and Homeland. It's also based on a series of novels by Jeff Lindsay. While the first season is pretty much a direct adaptation of the first novel, Darkly Dreaming Dexter, the later seasons go in their own direction. And it wasn't until 2 years after the show had ended that Jeff Lindsay published the final novel, Dexter is Dead. Now, I haven't read any of the books, but I really look forward to doing that in the future, just to see what they did differently from the show. Now, I'm also aware of Dexter's reputation as a TV show. For many people, the series peaked midway through around Season 4, and then it all just kind of went downhill from there. Now, as of this recording, I haven't actually finished the show. I need to rewatch the last 2 seasons to get on track. But based on what I've seen so far, I will admit that maybe the show should have ended a lot sooner, preferably around Season 4, because after watching Seasons 5 and 6, it doesn't really get any better from there. But now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about Season 1. So what is Season 1 about? Well, basically, Dexter and the Miami Metro Police are investigating a string of murders committed by the Ice Truck Killer, a serial killer who targets prostitutes and leaves their bodies decapitated and bloodless. So if stuff like that is off-putting to you, then yeah, this is not the show for you. But for everyone else, strap yourselves in, let's get started on the review. So first of all, let me get this out the way. This is how you begin a TV show. It's up there with the likes of Breaking Bad, Prison Break, The Wire, The Sopranos, you name it. And there's a ton of reasons for it. First of all, the Ice Truck Killer isn't like most serial killers that you'd come across in any media whatsoever. The Ice Truck Killer literally leaves the bodies of his victims out in the open for the police to find, as if he wants them to find him. Or does he? Does he know what he's doing? I guess so. And the season did a great job of keeping his identity a mystery until it was revealed. And the reveal was pretty shocking, and even after his identity is revealed, there's even more surprises afterwards. But the thing about him that really caught my attention is that he'll occasionally do things to catch Dexter's attention, and only Dexter's attention. And it had me thinking, he's trying to tell us something. What is he trying to tell us? So yeah, the Ice Truck Killer was a fantastic villain. Then you have the actual character of Dexter, one of the most fascinating and complex anti-heroes in television history. Aside from his double life, being a forensic technician by day and a vigilante serial killer by night, Dexter has had homicidal urges since his childhood, and these urges are driven by an inner voice called the Dark Passenger. And when that voice can't be ignored, he lets the Dark Passenger do the driving. He abides by a moral code that was taught to him by his father, Harry Morgan, who's played by James Remar, in which he only allows himself to kill people who are themselves murderers as well. He also considers himself to be emotionally detached from the rest of humanity, and he's always referring to humans as if he is not human himself. And then of course there's his monologues, which are presented as voiceover narrations. It's through this that the audience is able to engage with Dexter's psyche, as well as the flashbacks fleshing out his childhood years. So all in all, he's a very fascinating protagonist. The other characters are fairly interesting as well. They're not fully fleshed out in this season, but they're developed just enough to serve as a good starting point for them. There's Rita Bennett, Dexter's girlfriend, who wants their relationship to be a lot more intimate. There's Deborah Morgan, Dexter's sister, a Vice Squad's officer who is aspiring to work in the homicide department of the Miami Metro Police. There's James Dokes, who is a police officer that hates Dexter and is the only person who can see through his mask of normality. Now, he might look familiar to some of you that don't watch the show. Well, he was actually featured in a particular meme.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Yeah, that one. There's Maria Laguerta, a tough and ambitious lieutenant who is more skilled in political gamesmanship than actual police work, and she harbors an intense dislike for Dexter's sister, Deborah, in particular. She's very career-centered, but the later seasons do try to humanize her a little bit. There's Angel Batista, a forensics officer who often works closely alongside Dexter. He is known for his signature fedora hat, which he is very rarely seen without during his time on the show. But what really makes him so compelling is that he's a friendly and good-natured individual who provides a sense of compassion and humanity in Dexter's life. And just the fact that he considers himself to be a cliché, being a lonely divorced police officer. There's Rudy Cooper, a prosthetist who develops an interesting friendship with Dexter. There's Vince Masuka, who's basically comic relief, and he's one of the best comic reliefs in television history. He's a sex-obsessed forensic analyst, and I always look forward to seeing him on screen. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, there's Harry Morgan, Dexter's father. Now, Harry actually died prior to the events of Season 1, but he still remains a strong influence on Dexter throughout the series. So yeah, that's a lot of characters, and I just wanted to get them out the way so that we don't have to talk about them too much in the later reviews. So another thing I liked about the show is that it does a good job in balancing its main overarching storylines with its smaller, self-contained stories involving minor villains. The show also has a really cool title sequence. It's one of those title sequences that go on for about a minute or two, and it's fun to watch. The cinematography really stands out among other TV shows, and it will take you back to the 2000s era of television, especially if you grew up in that time. Each season is broken down into 12 episodes. This season had perfect pacing, and each episode had something significant to offer. There's a very unique blending of genres on this show that really adds to the entertainment value. It blends mystery, police procedural, dark comedy, crime drama. All of these genres are blended together effectively and wrapped up in a neat little package. While not an action-oriented TV show, Dexter has plenty of gut-wrenching tension in every episode. The violence may be a bit too gruesome for some, but if this is your thing, then there's plenty of kills, carnage candy, just all that kind of stuff, especially if you like horror movies. And the finale is one of the most shocking, suspenseful, and emotional finales I've ever seen, and it did a great job in laying the groundwork for season 2. In fact, it didn't even need to do that. This could have been a mini-series and it would have gone down in history as one of the all-time greats. And because of all of this, I don't have any cons. There are no issues with this season. It is flawless. It's one of the best debuts to any TV show ever. So yeah, that's pretty much my review. If you haven't watched Dexter, please check out season 1. It's totally worth it. So next time we're going to look at season 2. Look forward to that soon. So thank you all for watching. Please be sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe. Hit the notification icon. Be safe during this time, and I'll see you soon.